This is Build Your Difference, a podcast created by Blue Artists, a brand platform with one goal: to help great visionaries like you build impressive brands. Every month, we'll bring you insightful tips, knowledge, and compelling stories from successful entrepreneurs and the Blue Artists team on how to create and market a winning brand that does more than just launch a new product or service. It starts an ongoing conversation. Because you're not just making a brand, you're making a difference. Let's start building.
We talked about free website migration, and you have here listed something about introducing new shows. So I'm going to come back to the screen here. And I want to know more about these new shows.
Yeah. So, John, now look, you and I, we've had a great year last year with the Build Your Difference podcast. I'm really thrilled with the feedback that we've been getting. I mean, our videos on YouTube are getting thousands of views.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah. And our subscribers have grown by hundreds.
Excellent.
Last year.
Excellent.
And that's just on YouTube. So, I mean, there's also all the podcast platforms. But last year we were really focused on just talking about BrandDesk, like all the lessons we're learning and all the mistakes along the way, that kind of thing. So this year, I thought it'd be cool to instead of talking, about the platform itself, let's start talking about some of the success stories. Let's start actually meeting the users. Let's start meeting our customers and our team members, and really showing, putting a more of a community face to what BrandDesk is. And so you and I, we talked, and we came up with a great plan, a great strategy, which I'm very excited about. And that is that this year we're going to introduce 3 new shows to the Build Your Difference podcast. The first show is real easy. This is real easy. It's just a solo show with me. And on that show, right now we're just calling it A Moment with Pierre. And I'm just going to be talking about, just sort of hopefully profound ideas that have come across my desk or that I have experienced that I think might be really helpful to other entrepreneurs who kind of resonate with content like that. So that's one show. But the other 2, now these are the ones I'm really excited about. The first one is called The Author's Journey. And okay, so John, you're actually hosting that show. So I'm good. I'll set it up, but then I'll set it up, but then I'd love to, why don't you give us your 2 cents on it as well? So basically, The Author's Journey is an opportunity for us as a community to get to know some of the incredibly brave and talented authors who have created either their first book or, for some, their second or third book with us at Walters Publishing, and have taken the leap and are now selling their books on major platforms like Barnes and Nobles and Amazon and other bookstores across the world, and are doing really well. We wanted to give them a platform to talk about their experience and to talk about their book so that more people can learn about their story. So that's the setup. But from your perspective as the host, what kind of gets you excited about hosting a show like that?
Well, I believe a couple years back, we had done some podcast episodes with some authors before, and I've always just been fascinated with their own, as we call it, their own personal journey of how they got this story from head to the page, and just what they went through, both in that actual experience that inspired the book, but also the actual book writing itself, and then beyond. Part of that is just, I think, like myself and probably most people who are listening to this, at some point in time, we've all wanted to write a book, and I think it helps to hear that journey from other persons especially if for those who might be first-time authors who've reached that mountaintop and they've completed it and it's out there, it's published, it makes it feel like it's possible for other first-time authors, you know?
Yeah.
Just hearing that natural story. And I think if you have that story you can share, it's just going to help imprint your book in the listener's mind so much more. It's going to give them something to connect with. You know, they might hear something of your story that they resonate with. Maybe it happened to them too, and they think, oh well, uh, this author experienced this when they were 15, and it went on to become part of their book. And you know, I remember something similar. You know, my summer vacation when I, back in 1990, whatever. And you have a bond there. So now we can go and even if you just fetch the book to read that chapter, you know, okay. But now you've become part of that book. You've that shared experience yourself. And so maybe 6 months down the road, you decide, I got nothing to do. Well, what was that book I was reading? Oh yeah, and you're gonna finish the rest of the book. You know, you might read it right then and there on the spot, but otherwise, you know, there's something that connects you and that it can be there. So if you can come back to it if you want to finish reading it later, because you're going to have different experiences that may or may not connect you back to the book. So just that personalizing that's what I really like about that.
I really appreciate hearing that because I totally agree. I totally agree. And I I always think it's fascinating because every author is so incredibly different.
Mm,
And I just think it's fascinating to see what the journey is like, for each of these people to take something that started in their head and now exists as a actual physical book that you can
right.
buy,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, it's just such a fascinating thing. I've always thought it's kind of magical, and so I'm really excited to start hearing those episodes, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Mm,
Now, the second show, well, I guess the third show, is called Open Sessions, and this show is a part of our brand that's called the Table Advisory, which is
mhm,
a sort of a consulting advisory firm for entrepreneurs, small business owners. It's a very, we're trying to create a safe space for
right.
people to express what their challenges are in running their business, um, and get some positive advice, some positive feedback on that's not going to cost them an arm and a leg. It's not totally free. There is a cost to work with an advisor at the Table Advisory, but the Open Sessions show is an opportunity for authors to, in lieu of payment, to receive that same experience of a deep, in-depth advisory session with an advisor like myself, um, and at no cost to them. And so because the way I see it is, hey, you know what, other people can learn from this, and if they're willing to be brave and courageous and be vulnerable and expressing their challenges and allowing us to sort of dissect those challenges and come up with solutions on the air, then they shouldn't have to pay for that, because that's going to be an incredible value to so many other people. So Open Sessions is that. I mean, someone said to me, "Oh, so it's kind of like Shark Tank," and I said, "No, it's actually nothing like Shark Tank." We're not asking business owners to pitch their businesses and then we're gonna you know you know criticize them to death. No, this is a supportive environment where we are wanting to help people overcome business related challenges, marketing and branding related challenges, so that other people can learn who might be going through a similar experience. So Open Sessions is something I'm also really excited about, and so these three new shows, along with this show, the one you and I are on now, Build Your Difference, these will be the new sort of format for the podcast moving forward in 2021. And I mean, sure, you and I, we have a roadmap that goes beyond that, but for now, I think this is a great place to sort of start for 2021. And I'm really, really excited.
Yeah, absolutely, definitely.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Build Your Difference. If you'd like to learn more about how Blue Artists can help you develop a distinguished brand that inspires and engages a growing audience, then please visit us at www.blue-artist.com and be sure and subscribe to our monthly podcast for the latest tips and trends in brand development and marketing. And remember, you're not just making a brand, you are making a difference. Start building yours today.